Good morning, everyone, and welcome in the recorder of the workshop Teaching and Learning Center by Unita about digital and numerical tools. This workshop will be presented online and in English on the 26th of November. And today I record this presentation for you and especially our colleagues from Portugal who haven't the same hours than us. So let's see this presentation now. I'm sharing my screen. This is a presentation of 45 minutes, I think. So normally you can see my screen actually, and in this 45 minutes you haven't the different presentation, the different videos presentation of the tools, but don't worry, you can see all these videos directly with the Padlet. You have all the link directly in the Padlet I present to you at the end of this presentation. So let's start. So as I have already said, this presentation is about educational technology, digital tools, and it's a presentation by the Teaching and Learning Center of the Unita European Alliance. Who I am, I think this is an important point. I'm your speaker today and I'm Ella Duval, pedagogical coordinator in USMB, Université Savoie-Mont Blanc, one of the two French universities of the Alliance. Our subject for today is very interesting for sure, but complex too. So I have divided this presentation in 5 different parts. The first 3 parts of the beginning is about the introduce our subject, so educational technology, what it is, why this is interesting for you and for your colleagues to use it, and educational technology, what's benefits for your pedagogical practices and for sure for your students too. And finally, the third part is about digital tools examples. I have divided these tools in 5 different categories. The first one is the category of planning with monday.com. The second one is about interaction with wooklab.com. And the third one is about presentation with 2 different tools, prezi.com and genially.com, that I use it today for this presentation. And the last but not least about forum with padlet.com. So these 5 tools are presented here in a specific but short presentation, and I've give you some link to share different videos at the end of this presentation. So first of all, educational technology, what we are talking about, what it is. So I have proposed for you 2 different definitions today about these points. To start very quickly, educational technology is a term used to describe a wide array for teaching and learning related software and hardware that's increasingly being used in college and universities classroom. This is a really important point because we don't use only the educational technology, in universities. This is a main subject in all the educational parts of the society. The ultimate goal of educational technology, also referred to as EdTech, is to enable and improve learning environment, which in turn is meant to boost students' outcomes. It has also been proved to increase students' engagement and participation in class. Educational technology refers to technology, for sure, that usually helps facilitate collaboration in an active learning environment. So basically, by using educational technology, educators can create digital, interactive textbooks, gamify lessons, take attendance, assign homework, hold quizzes and tests, and get real-time results related to teaching materials, styles, and formats. So basically, in these eight different type of using, you can have all your pedagogical scenarios. Educational technology is disrupting traditional education and teaching methods by offering both teachers and students the ability to learn in an environment that make us of new common devices such as smartphones, tablets, or computer. And I think this is why it's extremely interesting for you. But basically, now you have definition, but concretely in your practices, how you can use educational technology. For that, I'd give you a three different example. This is only example. For sure, you have a lot of different educational technologies, but here you have three example to how basically you can use the educational technology. First of all, with education, infographics. Education infographics are effective for teachers to explain the new information for the students and pupils. So basically, this is a visual basic presentation, but the main objective is to organize your pedagogical supports and to show to your students and pupils how they can realize these courses and how they can realize the different ideas including in these courses. Then you have the mind map. The mind map is basic in the educational technologies because this is really interesting and easy to use it. So mind map is a diagram in which information is represented visually, usually with a central ID placed in the middle and associated IDs around it. So you have a lot of different forms of mind map. You have one example right here in my screen. So in this presentation and this example, sorry, you have business startup at the center, and then you have all the ideas who are organized in different spots. The point interesting with mind map is you can organize mind map as you want. The rules, if I can say, is only to have a central IDs and more um, specific ID around it. And then, last but not least, you have the data flow diagram. The data flow diagram, there are many ways to define the flow of information within a system, right? So structural system or analysis method often use data flow diagrams to show data flow, data storage, and data processing visualization. These diagrams are easy to develop and quite useful. Basically, this type of diagrams are specifically used in the information and digital classes. Now you know specifically what we are talking about when we say educational technology. Now, the main point is why use it? Because I know a lot of teachers said to us, I have a board, I have a pen, I have a paper, I can perfectly doing my classes every day. And this is perfectly true. But the point is, we use digital tools every day in our practices right now, in your personal life, in your professional life. And this is interesting for you to have the good tools to organize all these digital professional lives. So educational technology in education is important because it helps today teachers to integrate new technology and tools into the classroom. Yes, you can perfectly work without tools, but if you want to integrate this technology and tools into your classroom, how we can doing this together? Teachers are able to upgrade and improve the learner-centeredness of their classroom. It enables teachers to engage their students in unique, innovative, and equitable ways. And this is a really interesting point with digital tools. Digital tools are basically inclusive because a lot of your students or pupils who have disabilities can't use the classic materials or tools in your pedagogical practices, but they can perfectly use tools because a lot of tools are accessible. And this is why this is extremely interesting for you as a teacher to create an inclusive space of work. And to conclude about this point, teachers are also able to expand their network and connected with other teachers and educators nationally and globally. And this is exactly because of the digital tools that you can develop in the Unita Alliance, the COIL, Collaborative Online International Learning. Basically, the COIL is a courses who can be developed in collaboration between two teachers of the alliance. For example, for courses about law, you have a teacher of France and a teacher of Spain who can work together about the immigration in Europe. And because of the digital tools, they can be online with them students in the same time in here in Spain, sorry, and in France. So this is extremely interesting, and we can only develop this type of project because of the digital tools. Because if you don't use it, you can't be in a global, international type of project. Now I want to show you a diagram to visualize this idea. Basically, when we develop digital tools, generally you have three different objectives. These three objectives are justify the educational technology use. The third one is motivation. The second one is organization, and the third one is reflection. Now, when you can reflect about what is your main objective about this utilization, you can perfectly develop your projects. I explain. It's necessary to analyze the need, so diagnostic, to see what is your main objective, motivation, organization, reflection, and finally to solve it, actionable. It's thanks to a tool or an educational digital interface. But watch it. This is important to see and to observe how much the tool isn't the solution. The tool is a way to do this, right? So you need to have the good you need to have the good pedagogy to use the tools. So you need to think about it. What is your pedagogical objective? What pedagogy, what organization, what scenario you can use? And finally, with which tools you can perfectly organize this objective and finally successful in your projects. Um, about this point, I want to give you three objectives for the three examples, sorry, for the three different objectives. About the motivation objective, for example, a university teacher. Since returning to the classroom post-COVID, the majority of my students do not come to class. Even in my video conferences classes, they don't participate. I'm looking for ways to improve their engagement and motivation. So basically, you need to think about your pedagogical objective. Your pedagogical objective right here is to motivate your people, right? So how we can do this? First of all, you need to create a different scenario about your classes, to integrate some dynamic in this classroom. And then you need to think about what type of tool can help me in this project. I think for me, the solution is a fun presentation and interactive tools. For example, you can use genially.com as I doing today to propose a dynamic, visual, colorful presentation. And then you can use a second tool like wooklab.com to integrate the participation of your students in your presentation. Second example, about your objective of organization. I'm a university teacher, and between all my courses, bachelor's, master's, doctorate, I can find my way around. Lately, I have even sent back the wrong papers to the wrong students. Oh my goodness. So, how I can do to organize better all of my classes and propose a organized and a very interesting lesson to my pupils. I'm looking for a tool to organize my files and my schedule, right? So one of the solution is to organize your classes with a multi-interface organization tool. At the end of this presentation, I propose you one of them, who is monday.com. Then the third objective can be reflection and reflectivity. I'm a middle school teacher. I'm looking to have my students work on a filed investigation will be original. I'm looking for an original, fun, and practical interface. So basically, what here, the point is to have the good pedagogy to propose another vision of your classes, right? So for that, you can use the mind mapping. As I present in my first part, the mind mapping can propose one visual presentation of your ID, of your classes with a central point and other IDs around it to visualize your pedagogical plan. To propose a mind map who can be interesting for your students, you can use padlet.com. I present Padlet at the end of this presentation too. Please, if you have any question, you can write your question in the comment of these YouTube videos, or you can send me an email at my email in the comment presentation, or I give you my email at the end of this presentation too. So if you want to see also types of diagram, please, you can go in the website that I have writing right here in my screen. Now, basically, one of the point for a lot of teachers, it's what benefits with educational technology. Because as I have already said, for sure you can continue to present your classes, your workshops, your pedagogical project with a classic form of pedagogy. But you can make the difference if you use the good tools too. So the first reason of the first benefits of educational technology is education technology keeps every classroom connected. Basically, the easiest area to see the benefits of educational technology is in remote learning. Remote learning, attending lectures or classes virtually with videos or audio communication to participate, requires the use of a tech to keep the classroom engaged. And having a video set up for a class of students allows people to attend no matter where they are located, bringing education to even more people. Because for sure, when you use the digital tools, when you propose your class online in a hybrid version, synchronous, so when you're in the same time with your students, or asynchronous when you send them all the pedagogical content and they can write and use it when they want. So when you use it a digital and a hybrid modality for your class, you can present it as you're doing your class, your normal classes, right? Because this is not the same organization, this is not the same setup. So it's important for you to use the good tools about it. Now, educational tech software allows students to work more effectively. EdTech software brings a new degree of flexibility to remote learning, thanks to the variety of online classes and digital textbooks, libraries that students have access to through EdTech tools. Students can access their work virtually, turn in homework online, and learn at their own speed. If a student has trouble with a section or really know another, they can remove ahead of learn with section as they need it, allowing our students to tailor the learning experience to their needs. Basically, right now, after the COVID especially, and with the economic situation in Europe, a lot of students works in the same time than they are in the university. So when you propose an online classes with a digital tools, that can make the difference in your students' organization. Because if your students work in the city where they live, this is more interesting and easy for them to follow the class online and after that to walks on them break time, for example. So this is why EdTech can be interesting and can really make the difference. And finally, last but not least, EdTech helps teachers to stay organized. As I have already said to you in the second part of this presentation, EdTech can help you to organize all your different classes and tools. Using EdTech platforms and apps, teachers can create digital repository of teaching materials, videos, and slide deck use, then provide access to students and caregivers to review on their own time. It's easy to see what material you have available to teach with and save energy of having to look through piles of old paper resources. When all classes are being remotely, they tend to blend into one another. For teacher juggling multiple remote of hybrid class, EdTech allows them to show up to each new class and lesson prepare and organize. And this is precisely why I present to you one of these tools who can be really useful for you to be more organized. And this tool is monday.com. And this is a good idea to speak about it right now because we are now in the fourth part of this presentation. We are in the fourth part of this presentation, and I think this is the most important of this workshop because this is interesting for you to know what is educational technology, what are digital tools, but I think in your pedagogical practices, you need to know basically what type of tools you can use in function of your objective and needs. So, in this fourth part, I'm going to get the heart of the matter and present 5 digital educational tools that could change your teaching practices. They fall into 4 categories. The first one is planning for monday.com. The second one is interaction with wooklab.com. The fourth one is presentation with prezi.com and geniali.com. And finally, the last one is forum with padlet.com. I hope that these small demos will make you want to discover the tools and to use them into your professional practices. I have selected a demo for each tools. We will see if they work with the screen sharing. But don't worry if they don't. I give you all the link of the videos in the Padlet at the end of this presentation. So basically, third one, I want to talk with you about digital tools of planification. And these tools I have selected is monday.com. Basically, I use personally and professionally the monday.com every day. Monday.com is a workhorse to enable teams to complete project and workflow with confidence. I love the tools because this is simple and intuitive. And you can perfectly customize workflow, adapt to changing needs, create transparency, collaborate efficiently, and eliminate manual tedious tasks. And I think this is a common objective, especially when you have a lot of classes, a lot of objectives. The first interesting point with monday.com is the flexibility. Flexibility is the name of the game because with monday.com, we give you the opportunity to organize your times, to ability to create custom work application for any workflow. You can build your app to meet your specific classes, needs, and customize your charts, dashboard, and documents to perfectly fit with your team. So these tools can be interesting to use it in a different team, whatever in your project, in your laboratory. Use monday.com as you see fit across multiple teams, department, manager, organization, and for all types of project and processes. The second interesting point with monday.com is the visual and intuitive. With Monday.com, you can view all project and task at a glance. You can see your progress and the steps you need to take to keep moving forward. It's a great way to get a clear overview of all your project and let your entire teams know that's ahead. And last but not least is extremely interesting. Monday.com is extremely interesting about communication and collaboration. So Monday.com can eliminate endless email conversation and unnecessary meetings. And we have a lot of meetings, right? All the discussion and files are centralized in one place, so you never miss a critical piece of information. It also facilitates collaboration between different sites, structures, and teams. No more collaborations problem. But you need now to see this interface because I can present you, I can use a lot of extremely interesting and positive words, but you need to see exactly what interface it is. So I want to show you the demo right now. I think we haven't the time to see all the demo, but let's try with this one. So this is Monday.com. This is our first tool and the special talk about planification. Now I want to present you a tool about interaction. Because as we have already said, especially since the COVID pandemic, a lot of students haven't the motivation to be participants in the class. So we have this problem in the digital classes for sure with online courses, but you can have this problem with a basic classic class too. And this tools is interesting for you because you can perfectly use WooClap.com, whatever your type of classes. If you want in a classic classes, if you want in a digital classes, if you are in an hybrid classes, you can use WooClap, whatever the situation. So basically, create interactive presentation is the first objective with WooClap. In a few clicks, thanks to an intuitive interface. You have 17 question types on WooClap, quiz, word cloud, etc. And the templates in the simple gallery, you can create hundreds of unique quizzes tailored to your educational needs. So if you haven't a lot of time, don't worry, WooClap have created for you some templates. Using neuroeducation, WooClap is designed around Stanislas Dehaene's 4 pillars of learning: attention, active engagement, hero feedback, and consolidation. Provide a seamless experience to your audience by attending a question in your PowerPoint or Google Slide presentation. And this is extremely interesting with WooClap. For example, right now I use Genially for my presentation. If you want to present, to organize a more interactive presentation, I can perfectly integrate a WooClap directly in my Genially presentation. This is a really important point for you. To keep your audience attention, display your site or participant screen in real time. Basically, you integrate your WooClap in your presentation. You send the link to all your students or colleagues, and in their own phone or computer, they can send you them answers to the question. And these answers can be show directly in your own screen. So this is extremely interesting. This is anonymous, so don't worry, your students can answers extremely free. They can be extremely free in them answers. And you can have some different types of presentation of this answer if you want a cloud, or if you want a list of words, or if you want I don't know, a categories organization, for example. Whatever, you are completely free to organize your own quizzes. And then you can download to report after courses of detailed answers that will enhance your next interactive presentation. So this is extremely interesting for your feedback too. If at the end of your presentation, at the end of your classes, you want the feedback to your students, you can organize this feedback and doing better in your next classes. Let's see demo. I think this is extremely interesting because this is an example. We are in a university classes and you have a teacher with students who are completely boring. Let's see.
Tout le monde adore les tableurs. Non, en fait, personne. Mais regardez ça. Monday.com. Comment?
When a presentation lacks energy, time passes by very slowly. Keen to captivate your audience? Rather than compete with smartphones, WooClap turns them into an exceptional learning tool. Participation has never been this quick and easy. Your audience can answer by text message or via internet on any connected device. WooClap offers a wide range of features that make participation easy and bring your content to life. View, interpret and comment on the results in real time. You can create find-on-image questions, multiple choice questions, word cloud, and many others. WooClap is also an interactive platform that establishes a real dialogue with your participants. And all this happens in real time. If you want to make your presentations fun and effective, then sign up to wooclap.com free of charge today.
So I think with this demo, you have the perfect example of how you can use WooClap in your own classes. And as you see, that will make the difference about the students' attention. Now, I want to present you my two tools about presentation. I know how much this is central for you because when you have a digital classes, in general, you need to use special tools about it. So, first of all, the first presentation tool is Prezi.com. Prezi is a great online tool and can be used to make amazing presentation. Why? Sorry, because Prezi is some visualized, is some organized, and this is mostly known for the zooming features. However, it can be used to create something much more creative because in addition to zooming, it is also presented to combine animation, videos, audio, image. So basically, you can integrate all your resources in your presentation with this tool. And the point with Prezi for me is Prezi is the perfect mix between a mind map and a presentation tool. Because in Prezi, you have a central idea and the other idea around it. So that can create it for your students strong engagement for the start. Prezi use dynamic visual rather than static text to capture and keep your audience interest. Move freely from one section to another while focusing on the content at end. Then Prezi helps your audience learn. Why? Because your audience is focused and retains more information when you present your entire story in context by showing the relationship between your ideas. And this is precisely the point when we are thinking about mind map. You have one idea, one idea, one idea, one idea, and because these ideas are in the context, your student can understand why we are talking about it. It's more effective than slide, and its logical interaction makes it easier to remember. And finally, no need to start from scratch. You can boost your skills with designer templates and with a book presentation. So you are of a book. You have a lot of work. Don't worry, a lot of templates exist directly in the Prezi website. Now I want to show you a new using of Prezi, because you can use Prezi in your classic presentation as I am perfectly doing this right now, but you can use it too in your video conference, especially presentation. Let's see this new form of Prezi. I think this can be really interesting for you, and especially if you are working in the audience.
Isn't it time for better virtual meetings? Meet Prezi Video, the virtual presentation tool built for hybrid work. Prezi Video connects to your favorite video conferencing tool, bringing any content on screen with you for a more immersive experience that delivers a more professional and branded meeting, and invites two-way interaction with on-screen responses using text, images, and GIFs. The best part? It's easy. Automatic pairing instantly connects Prezi Video to your virtual meetings. The side panel only mode snaps next to your video conferencing tool. And with one click, import your existing PowerPoint, Prezi, or Google Slides. Then use view modes to control how your audience experiences your content, whether it's on screen with you, full screen, or sharing your desktop. Prezi Video even eliminates the meetings you don't need by recording a video to share in an email or messaging tool. This is Prezi Video. Better meetings, better collaboration, a better hybrid work experience. Get started at prezi.com.
So basically, this is a really interesting point for you, a new form of Prezi that really can make the difference, whatever in your online classes, if you're in hybrid classes, or if you want to record it, your classes or your workshop to sharing this in your YouTube channel, for example, in your social media too, or with your colleagues in the Alliance or in other projects. Now, finally, I want to show you my two last tools, the tools that I use it today. So the first one is my favorite presentation tool is Genially.com. Genially is successful for many reasons. Above all, those for you, Genially choose it to create a unique presentation, and because of the design, because the point interesting with Genially is you can use it for pedagogical presentation, business presentation, but you can use Genially too for creating a serious game, for example. If you would be in our first workshop of the year with my colleague Clara from UPPA, we have already presented a workshop about serious game. And you know that Clara have used Genially to create his own serious game about interpretation. So this is why I think Genially is one of the best tool actually in our educational technology business, because you can use Genially to create it a classic presentation, a game, or whatever your project. So, and some presentation template are completely integrated in Genially. They include predefined interactivity and animation effects. So all you need to do is add your content. Customize it for all you liking. So if you haven't time, don't worry. You have already a lot of template integrated in the website, and you have just to put your informations. Then, looking for new ideas, look no further. If you are proud of anything, if you're having the largest community of interactive content creator in the world, and this is why I love these tools, you need to know that a lot of a lot of students or of teachers use already Genially, and we have a lot of messages of content already in the website, so you can use it to doing better in your own practices. And last but not least, make more interactive content. Genially is the online platform to make everything start interactive. So you have some buttons, as I have shown you. You can integrate videos, you can integrate Padlet, as I have doing in this presentation. You can integrate your work lab. You can integrate whatever in your presentation and doing better and create some interactive presentation. I don't show you the demo because you have already right here an example with my own presentation, but don't worry, I put the link at the end of this presentation. Now I want to show you my last tool. I'm on time. I think I have 5 minutes more to present the last tools and present my Padlets. So let's see. And yes, I have created a Padlet and Padlet is my last tool. So Padlet.com is my forum tools for this presentation. Because from your hobby to your career, your class notes to your final exam, your mood board to your runway show, Padlets help you to organize life. And this is an interesting tool because of it. You can use Padlets as a mind map, as a list, as a mood board, as an organized tool. Anyway, you can use Padlet for a lot of things. Even if you never use of kind of productivity software before, Padlet is familiar and fun. At post with one click, copy paste, drag and drop. You can walk the way to mind work, change and auto saved. Simple link sharing allows with quick collaboration. Then this is perfect thing to out of collaborative, including your colleagues, no one will grumble about being left out. So you can be 50% if you want in the same Padlet in the same time. You can invite others to contribute, work with unlimited contributors, watch updates, appears instantly, sorry, and allow others to remake your works. Finally, last but not least, supports every file type. So in your Padlet, whatever the template, you can integrate pictures, videos, Photoshop, Illustrator, AutoCAD, more, and you can too import content from anywhere, including YouTube, Twitter, Vimeo, New York Times, whatever. Attach links and files with Apple with a gorgeous contextual preview to give with viewers a hint of what you are showing them. So I don't show you the demo because I have created a Padlet for this presentation, so I prefer to show you my Padlets to have an example. But before of that, please, we are not online right now. This is a video, this is a record, but please use the comment to share with us if you use educational digital tools. If so, which ones? How did you learn about them? Have you been trained to use them? It's extremely interesting for me as a pedagogical coordinator to have your answers, to continue to propose to you new content, interesting and in coherence with your own pedagogical practices. So to finish this presentation, I show you my Padlets. I have used these Padlets to give you a space of forum to continue the discussion and share with you all my resources. As you can see, I've completely integrated the tools presented in this workshop, especially Genially for visual presentation, Booklab for dynamic exchange, and Padlet to continue an exchange and share some resources. So in this Padlet, you can find a glossary, first of all, right here with all definition, educational technology, learning technology, and digital tools. And you can see the different tools mentioned with the smart presentation and the link to the demos. So planification, you have monday.com with the link to the demos and the presentation. Right here, you have the same for Booklab, the demo and the presentation. Right here, you have about presentation with Prezi, videos and presentation, generally same. And finally, with Padlet, the demo videos directly in YouTube and the little presentation. Please, if you know other tools, feel free to complete these categories and use the discussion and exchange part to ask questions to the other people in this work group and continue the discussion. So we are not together right now, but thank you for your attention. If you have any questions, this is my email in USMB. I'm working especially about the Unita Alliance. So if you are working in a partner university in the European Alliance or in a Gemini work group, please feel free to send me remarks or questions. I'm disponible for you. So bye-bye and see you in a new UNITA teaching and learning workshop.